Live, and I was running late, and now I'm live, and I have to shut my door again. Love you. I was on with John just now, and I was like, I ran up and got some bread because I was like, I'm peckish. Oh, it's hot. Hi, everybody. HSM WW. No, we just call it, yeah. HSM, I guess. House Parks Megaworldwide. I think that works for now. You know, what do you think? Trying to name the show so that the folks that live their lives around the concept of branding can actually do something with it. So I have to, at some point, if we want to keep doing this, get a publicist again. All right, thanks. My hair's doing good today. It's very Ace Frehley, circa 1977. I'm feeling good about it. I trimmed it a little myself. Got in there with some scissors and just kind of got some of the split ends and that kind of thing. It's good. So I feel good about it. This is House Parks Manga. Wow. Yes, it's very fluffy today. I had it up in a towel right before I did John's show, and then I did a big, like, I went back. It's like muscle memory from when I was 22, because this is what I used to do with my hair. Here, Donnie's telling people he's running in 2024. Yes, Trump is telling his buddies at Mar-a-Lago that he's running in 2024, because if it gets out that he isn't, people will stop sending him money and he needs it. Yes, my hair is backlit. It's true. Pardon me for eating. Yes, I think so. All right, so I'm not even reading some of these. You guys are getting naughty. My hair is triggering some naughtiness. And all right, let's jump right in today because I've been on for a little while and I kind of want to roll straight into this so we don't spend too much time. And very seldom. Oh, let me see if I can roll this back. Does it get? Yeah, it starts there. This is the. Please. This is the first frame of this video. Oh damn it! So I gotta slide it over here. This is the first frame of this, and if anything sums up Greg Kelly's life while Biden is president, this is it. Look at this. Like he is so losing his shit right out of the gate. Like we all know Greg Kelly has anger management issues. The one upside is he's completely incapable of carrying out any of his anger in any meaningful way. He's just kind of a snipey, petty dude. No one has anything to fear from him. He's not gonna, honest to God, like, there are a few men in the world where I'm just like, nah, not a threat. And he's one of them. Like, of all people. Like, because many of you know this, when I go into public places and I'm on a train or something like that, I do a shoe check. You guys know this? Some of you may know this. I do a shoe check. Because if there's going to be a mass shooter moment or an act of craziness or some asshole is going to act a fool, one of the big telltale signs that they left the house with that plan is going to be their shoes. They're either going to have on combat boots or hiking boots or some sort of like hikey shoe at the most. If they've got on sneakers that cost a lot of money, they don't want to die that day. If they've got on, I mean, there's always exceptions to the rule, but it's a general. If they have on flip-flops, I'm not worried. Unless they also have on a karate gi, I have nothing to worry about. You look at people's shoes, and you can tell, when you just do it when you're in public, and you're in a situation, you're like in a Starbucks or something, just scan around and look at the shoes everybody's wearing, and say to yourself, if I was going to fuck people up today, if I was going to go off the reservation and like a lunatic and harm people, are those the shoes I would be wearing? And so at least you can avoid some of the people who are preparing to lose their mind, right? There's always a chance somebody will break out and then other factors come in. But that's one of the ways you can start eliminating people right away. It's not that you're going to find necessarily the person who's going to do it, but you can certainly go, nah, that dude's not a problem. There's a bunch of those folks, that when I see them, it's like a dude with loafers with no socks. There's just, frankly, there is no way that guy's a problem. Like, for me, anyways. I mean, I'm sure he could, almost anybody can find somebody smaller and weaker than them that they can carry someone. But if somebody walks in and, unless it's Conor McGregor and he's wearing a tailored suit, I'm not worried about that dude. And if it is Conor McGregor wearing, loafers with no shoes, he's talking shit the entire time. So I don't even have to do the shoe check. I'm like, that guy's mouthy. Something's going sideways. Yeah. Combat boots say you're ready. Absolutely. So that's kind of the point. And you can kind of, I've been in foreign countries when I'm on a train or I'm on a planes aren't a problem because most people don't fuck around in an airport. It's hard. You can't get past. And I'm not really worried about it. If they flip out, you can put them down. But like it's the potentially armed folks or knifed, people carrying knives or any kind of shit like that you're kind of like, all right, I'm in a New York subway. I don't have any illusions. There are enough people in the world that there could be a crazy and this could be the day. And so you kind of just do a scan, right? Shoes are the big scan. And then I can eliminate people based on other stuff. Like if you have a lot of tattoos, in general, I'm not worried about you. Unless it's a big, like Nazi one across your neck. Like it used to be a thing where if you saw somebody with neck tattoos, they were like fresh from the big house and you had to worry about that asshole. But now, people can have tattoos all over their body. And the thing about people with a lot of tattoos is, unless they're all over their forehead and they're just gone, and unless they're a high-level rapper that you immediately recognize, some people get so many that you're like, that person doesn't care if they live or die. They're basically taking a Sharpie to their forehead. But But anybody else who has a lot of tattoos, especially if they're very nice, doesn't want to ruin their body by getting it fucked up in a fight or dying. You know what I mean? Like when I'm in an airport and somebody in front of me in line going through security has a lot of tattoos, I'm like, this asshole is not going to crash the plane. Some dude, you know, with a briefcase shivering, you know, that he might try to, you know, bum rush the cockpit back when that was possible. But the dude with tattoos isn't going to do it. He wants to get where he's going so he can have some sex. Right? So that's the oh, thanks, Shadow Woman. It is pretty good. I've kind of, you know, your hair shifts in length and it does stuff, so you find a technique, and then of course right when you get it locked, it gets a little longer and drapes differently. So it's a constant struggle. Did you hear one of Trump people got arrested? Oh, many people. Yes. Well, beyond, of course, Barack, the guy who ran his inauguration. That's going to be fun. But I'm looking for discovery on that. I want that asshole to roll. That's going to be fun. Henna tattoos like Madonna got, even still, I'm not worried about a yoga instructor kicking my ass. I just am not. Not that yoga instructors can't kick ass. It's just that I'm not going to have a problem with a yoga instructor in general. See what I mean? You have to do threat assessment when you're out in public. It's a smart move. But when it comes to Greg Kelly, he could walk in full combat fatigues. And I'm not worried. Dude could be an open carry advocate walking in with an AR-15 and all this stuff. And I'm like, nah, neutered asshole. Nothing's going to happen. And he had military training. He was in the military. He was a pilot. So he's been through shit and all that stuff. But, I mean, he's not going to private pile anybody. He's just going to be like, okay. Like, honestly. So Greg Kelly is one of those, like, if he was a liberal, all the Republicans and stuff would be calling him a beta every day of his life. Right? I got all my tats in prison. See, those are quality ones. You don't want to go back, do you? So you're not going to pick shit, like, on a train or something that isn't necessary. Right? A Yoda instructor would. Yes, Yoda instructor is very different. All right. So this is this one's Greg Kelly. Define misinformation. It's the name of this one. Define misinformation. Well, misinformation is you're wrong. Disinformation is you're wrong on purpose. If someone is misinformed, they missed. The information train went by, and you were like, fuck, I was sitting here, and I was on my phone, and I missed my train of information. Disinformation is what Newsmax does. So just to clarify, that's why he's attacking misinformation, not disinformation as a thing. Because the day Greg Kelly starts attacking disinformation, he's kicking food out of his kid's mouth. I mean, what do you think the Newsmax mission statement is? Okay, here we go.
Joe, you're about to see one of the many reasons why the White House staff is terrified when Joe goes off script and just talks.
Yeah, because he might say things like, I think gay people should be allowed to get married. Or he's going to shit on Facebook for misinformation. By the way, this we were talking about feature not a bug on Stuttering John's show. When Trump does this stuff, feature not a bug. When Biden does it, bug not a feature. That if you were looking for a standardized view of Newsmax that encapsulates their entire mental picture, their POV on life, that's it.
What's your message to platforms like Facebook?
They're killing people. I mean, look, the only pandemic we have is among the unvaccinated. And they're killing people.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, the misinformation that's coming out, people are dying from this. But by the way, again, if Trump said something like this about a social media network he'd been kicked off of, we would not be able to see Greg Kelly's face because of the biggest and only hard-on he's ever had.
I mean, they're killing people?
Yeah, people are dying because of it. They're not murdering them. It's, yeah, I mean, you have to understand the concept of analogy, but it's almost like, it's like if somebody went, you know, he's an asshole in a suit who has a bunch of buildings behind him. And you went, he's got a bunch of buildings behind him? Like, yeah, we know they're not real buildings. We know it's video you're putting behind you. But you get the point.
Go easy, Joe. Facebook helped you get elected.
No. They helped Trump get elected, and then they stopped helping him get elected. It has nothing to do with Biden.
And you know what? He says Facebook is killing people. Think about Donald Trump. Hey.
Yes, I'm thinking about Donald Trump. Donald Trump personally got people killed with his hydroxychloroquine bullshit and his you don't need masks. And it's the vaccine, you know, I don't know if you should take it. It's up to you.
He only said the media were the enemy of the people. He never accused them of killing anybody.
According to Section 230, Facebook is not the media, and you agree with that.
Well, of course, Joe went too far, and today he had to walk it back.
Facebook isn't killing people. These 12 people are out there giving misinformation.
Right. Yeah, we understood that's what he meant.
Anyone listening to it is getting hurt by it. It's killing people. It's bad information. My hope is that Facebook, instead of taking it personally that somehow I'm saying Facebook is killing people, that they would do something about the misinformation.
And by the way, that whole exchange got this whole conversation to the level where the news paid attention to it. If he'd have just said, there's a bunch of accounts on Facebook that are getting people killed, honest to God, it wouldn't have even tracked. It would have been on, you know, like Joy Reid and Chris Hayes would have covered it. That's it. And you know how, like, Trump has this thing where he gets in trouble, and so he just goes and tweets, like when he was president. Remember that a long time ago? He would tweet something that was just like shitty, and that would eat the news cycle and distract away from the problem that he actually had. There's a way to use that for good. And one of it is to just go out and say your piece in a way that people go, what? Now, you can believe this is strategy or it's just Biden clarifying, but both work.
There goes Facebook again, taking it personally. I mean, after all, Joe did say they're killing people.
Well, the people with the misinformation. That's if you understand he's talking about the question, not just about Facebook. He's talking about the actual misinformation. He did clarify what he was saying based on the question. He didn't play the whole question, but
again, I think actually it's cozier than it looks between Joe and big tech.
Yeah, it kind of eats your talking point, doesn't it?
But remember this, as far as misinformation,
that's actually what I call you.
The only people who can put out misinformation are Democrats and the media, especially during an election year.
Let's just say
what?
there's a vaccine that is approved and even distributed before the election. Would you get it?
Well, I think that's going to be an issue for all of us.
If and when the vaccine comes. It's not likely to go through all the tests that needs to be and the trials that are needed to be done.
Whoa. Why are you not finished? Greg, are you trying to be Sean Hannity again?
We finally do, God willing, get a vaccine. Who's going to take the shot? Who's going to take the shot? You can be the first one to say, sign me up. They now say it's okay.
But if Donald Trump
Did you finish that thought
tells
too?
us that we should take it, I'm not taking it.
Yeah, by himself. If the scientists go, we're not sure yet, but Trump is like, everybody get a shot. Of course not. That's what they were talking about. That's that whole exchange.
Well, she did take it under Donald Trump. She did before she became vice president during the transition.
So you're saying there was a transition. What's with the fucking Lindsey Graham tongue flap thing? Are there dates on these? These were during the debates. One was in the fall. Some of it was early. They're cutting him out of context. It's what he does. That's why I play on my show the whole fucking segment. I don't grab a chunk of Greg Kelly, like a half a sentence, where he makes context if and when he does. He doesn't anyway. I don't just snipe that part of it off. That's why half the time when we're showing these things, I expect some sort of like follow-up, and then I'm like, wait, that's the end of the clip? Like, we've done a bunch of like Don Jr. ones and Greg Kelly ones where this is where Newsmax chooses to end the clip, and I'm like, that makes you guys look like shit. You might want to fill out the level 5 hype train. What's happening? It's hot in here. I'm sweaty. Level 5 hype train. Level 5 hype train. Thank you guys. I appreciate that. Everybody, twitch.tv/HalSparks. Don't forget to sign up. Subscribe. Don't just follow. And then share it around the webs. Okay, here we go. And go tell your the other Twitchers you watch. Is that the term? It's like Quakers, right? Tell them to raid my channel when they're done. If they're on before I am. By the way, a couple days ago we had more viewers than TYT's live stream. I'm just saying. And I'm not asking for 2 million a month. I'm just trying to get to 1,000 patrons, and have some bits.
Sounds awfully political. All of them. Were they listening to the scientists?
Hi, awfully political. Hey, asshole, they were making the point that Trump was politicizing it, and that they were going to go with the science, not with Trump saying it, because he was politicizing it. Oh, God, Greg, you're dumb.
Anyway, now
good way to nice bail on.
Now they're in power, and now.
What? Wait a minute. Greg, do you even queue, bro? What do you mean they're in power? Excuse me. Mike Pillow is having a cyber symposium in like 3 fucking weeks in Tulsa, Oklahoma, right between the legs of the 900-foot Jesus that Oral Roberts saw when he needed $1 million, and you're telling me that they're in power? They are not. That's her clone. She's already been arrested. Keep up.
Now they're being very, very careful with the information. What they label misinformation, disinformation, really basically.
You mean now that they actually are the president and vice president, they are speaking like they're speaking presidentially and vice presidentially? Is that a thing? I think it should be.
Whatever they say is legit. If anybody else says it, it's misinformation.
Modern technology companies have enabled misinformation to poison our information environment with
true.
little accountability to their users.
From the White House podium, this guy, Barack Obama's Surgeon General, now Joe Biden, formerly his aide during the campaign, talking
So suspect.
about
And looks really not German.
how families use social media can fight misinformation. Take a look at this mission statement. It's on a government website right now. We all.
Oh, if it's the U.S. government, I'm not believing it. What has America ever done for the world? If the American government, which is a representative of the people of the country, says do something, finally Greg Kelly has the balls to side with the mullahs in Iran. Good for you, Greg. I'm urging all Americans to help slow the spread of health misinformation during COVID-19 pandemic and beyond. Health misinformation is a serious threat to public health. It can cause confusion, sow mistrust, harm people's health, and undermine public health efforts. Limiting the spread of health misinformation is a moral and civic imperative that will require a whole of society effort. Yeah. Urging. See the word urging up there? This is where Republicans have a problem with consent and the concept of consent, being asked to do something versus being forced to do something, because the Republicans have this ABBA logic problem when it comes to consent. Because if they say that someone, a letter urging you to do something is the same as force, then when they force themselves on you, it's really just their urges.
all have to work against misinformation. But this is a very political guy. Very, very political. Take a look.
I know it's not typical for a former Surgeon General to speak at a convention. Surgeons General are appointed by presidents, but our work isn't about politics. Our highest duty is to the public.
Right. He fortifies the bipartisanship bona fides in those circumstances, I would
Our
think.
true guide is science, and our job is to speak the truth about public health, even when it's controversial or perceived as political.
Murthy has been chock full of misinformation. That's the Newsmax headline. I'm sure that Greg Kelly will explain this to us, like how, instead of just asserting this like it's some sort of, hypnotic statement that they want people to go, I don't know, I just feel like I came away watching that segment that Murthy's chock full of misinformation. Do you feel that too?
Perceived as political. It's not really political. I'm just perceiving it as political. There he is at the DNC. And,
yeah, the idea is that medical science had become politicized during that. I'm sorry, Greg. You're a young dude. Were you alive in August of 2020?
here he is during the campaign, undermining President Trump every step of the way. Now, why was he doing this?
Oh, he did it. Hey, thanks, Murthy, for saving us all from Trump. If you hadn't undermined him at every step of the way, which I thought was Fauci's job.
The president suggested we could see that successful vaccine by Election Day, that it wouldn't hurt his chances against Joe Biden. Now, you're the former Surgeon General. What's your reaction to that kind of projection and the apparent politicization of such an important...
I don't blame Wolf Blitzer. Politicization is a very difficult word to say without it seeming like your tongue's going to slip out of your face.
issue?
Well, thanks, Wolf. It's good to be with you today. I think when it comes to a vaccine, all of us are hoping that we will get a vaccine that's safe and
fucking liberals. All of us are hoping there's a vaccine coming. Come on.
effective as soon as possible. But I think it's very dangerous at this point to give specific dates.
That was...
Yeah, it is. That was Murthy undermining Trump every step of the way because Trump gave a date. What? Does anyone know what the fuck Greg is on about?
In August of last year, he is saying it is dangerous that the president was hoping, urging to get a vaccine as soon as possible, maybe even before the election. And you know what? He came pretty darn close. This guy is calling that dangerous. And here he is pretending he's not political.
Greg, you're so upset. I swear to God, I have to believe there are better clips of Murthy speaking to make Greg's point. Even if everything he's saying about Murthy is a lie, and it is, even in that context, you can't. The way this asshole snips statements and edits things to change context so willfully on his program, Greg, you can't do better than that. Saying it's dangerous to set a date. We have to focus on masks and all that. They're in the middle of that conversation. We're having another spike. There were 100,000 people died in like 6 weeks. But Greg wasn't born yet.
One more.
We have seen at times people like Tony Fauci and Dr. Redfield stood up and made important points about masks that have been then contradicted by the president. And the challenge is that we need more people to be doing that, and we need people to be doing that more consistently. This is a very unusual situation where we have seen a divergence, a sustained and disturbing divergence between what scientists are saying and what politicians are saying.
Well, you mentioned Dr. Fauci, and yes,
he's gonna. Here comes Greg. You're gonna do it, man. That was just a reasonable statement and a concern that normal scientific thought was being politicized. We all watched it happen. We were all there, September 20th, 2020. I mean, Herman Cain wasn't. When did he die? That was later. But most of us were there. That was 5 days before my birthday last year. Hi.
there were differences between him and Donald Trump. We saw it. And we also saw Dr. Fauci being wrong and contradicting himself. And
how?
Not following his own guidelines, huh?
He's outside.
Right there.
He's outside with other people who've been vaccinated.
Never forget this image. I'll never forget when he said, "Don't wear masks." And then
he didn't say, "Don't wear masks." Play the video, asshole. He's talking about early emails in the pandemic. And by the way, we've had scientific tests between them. Science has moved forward on the mask debate, and there was a pin put in it in June of last year, June 9th. All that, like, any vacillation about, well, we don't know whether it actually helps or hurts or what's the deal. We now know. Not only does it help, but when you are exposed and were it to get into you anyways, it lowers the viral load and raises your chance of surviving the disease. Of course it fucking works, dumbass.
When he said, wear 3 masks, he's been all over the place. It is acceptable.
No, he hasn't. He's only all over the place because you want to jump forwards and backwards in literal time, right? Let me take what you said before the surprise party, what you said during the surprise party, and what you said after the surprise party, and then I'll reverse them, and you knew about the surprise party the whole time.
Perfectly acceptable for us. We're adults to talk about this stuff without somebody like him
Citation needed.
minding our Facebook posts.
He's not minding your Facebook posts.
Because he's wrong a lot. Fauci, yes, but this Surgeon General fellow.
Yeah, it's hard to mix them up. Everybody's wrong. You're right, Craig. Tell them.
Even in an optimistic scenario, it would likely be closer to mid 2021 that we would see vaccines starting to be distributed at scale.
At scale. At scale. That is precisely the timing. We are at scale now, midway through. Beat it by a couple of months.
And if we think about how long it would take for that vaccine to actually make it to everyone in the population.
To everyone in the population.
We would need to, the question is there a chance we could do this all and vaccinate 70% of the population?
70% of the population. I'm getting a feeling that you and I are hearing things in this clip that Greg Kelly is going to miss entirely.
By the end of 2021. I think it would take the best vaccination campaign that we've ever assembled in the history of the world to do that. Could it be done? Well, there's a first time for everything.
Yeah, and what's the missing link, Greg? We're there. We're so close. We were so close to 70% by midway through 2021. What's the holdout, Greg? What's the thing that kept that goal from being met that would have made Murthy would have made him wrong? What was the thing? Who made this clip from him actually correct? Newsmax viewers. That's right, Greg. It's because of your fucking viewers and Trump's followers that we did not meet the 70% vaccination level. It's not even, nobody even questions that at this point. It's clear. It's obvious. You're fighting for it. But I'm sure that's what he'll bring up. Please, Greg, explain to us all that just saw him say the best we can look for is, midway through 2021 or by the end of 2021, if we could reach 70%, that would take the biggest, vaccine outreach program in history. And of course, that's what we've been attempting during this entire thing. And the one holdup is the Trump voter. But I'm sure I'm going to be wrong. Everything I said is going to be wrong based on what Greg Kelly says next. I'm willing to quit.
He was a doubter. He was a naysayer. And guess what? We got the vaccine to scale way before the middle of this year. Way before.
And yet, even though we had it to scale, Greg, what was the thing that kept us from getting to 70%? It's not availability. It's not the fact that it's free. It's not that there are multiple versions to choose from. It's not that there's a version that you have to keep at, black hole freezing temperatures versus a version you can keep in a beer fridge, and you can take those out to the middle of nowhere so that rednecks everywhere can get their single J&J. It's not because of that. We've got it. We can get it to you. Hans, Booby, I can give it to you. It's not that, is it? What is it, Greg? What was the thing that fucked up the whole thing? Here's a hint. Your viewers.
Before the middle of this year. We're adults in this country. We can handle it. We can discuss things. You know, doctors, scientists often disagree with each other, right? This is America. You can get a second opinion.
Yeah, get a second opinion, and your second doctor will tell you to get the goddamn vaccine right now. And you'll go, excuse me, my second opinions come from Facebook, okay?
That's okay. But this man, as political as they come, is urging social media to monitor our posts.
No, he's urging us to not spread vaccine misinformation. Did you... Look, I know you got shit in your ears, but can you not even read the post they put? Greg, do you look at any of this shit beforehand? This is amazing. Greg, you just decide on your narrative and then play the clips? Is that? I mean, it would work. I mean, obviously you could accuse me of the same, but then I would have to cut around your shit and not show everything that you say in the entire segment that you yourself put out as an example of your thought. This clip is 9 minutes and 52 seconds long, and I'll play every sour second of it. You dipshit. Greg.
They're really doing this, and it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, wacky, I'd even say.
Especially when advice comes down like this, because I think this is debatable. Take a look at this headline, if you would, from the American Academy of Pediatrics.
So you think this is debatable? The American Academy of Pediatrics is suggesting all students older than 2 years old and all school staff should wear face masks at school unless medical or developmental conditions prohibit use. This is their best case scenario. Debatable whether to carry it out, sure. But the American Academy of Pediatrics are looking at the stats. They're looking at the dangers to children. They're looking at it and they're going, yeah, this is something to worry about.
All students older than 2 years and all school staff should wear face masks at school unless medical or developmental conditions prohibit use. Now, I'm going to guess there's more to this since 12 and older now can get vaccinated. These are the latest guidelines from the AAP, CDC, not yet saying it, but who knows? This is debate.
Yeah, this is from the AAP. The CDC not yet saying it, but who knows? Let's just assume.
Debatable.
Dude, you can't step on your own foot when you're trying to dance.
Have a conversation about that. And I'm allowed to raise questions about this on text messaging and on Facebook.
Yeah. Yes, you are. You are allowed to question whether or not there's efficacy to it, whether it's practicable, whether it'll actually work, and all that kind of stuff. But you're not. It is not the same thing when you say that, fuck it, just a couple of drops of oleander in your kid's eyeballs every morning, that'll protect them from anything that ails them. That's the problem, dumb fuck.
And we shouldn't be canceled or monitored or have our followers limited. And that's happened before.
Oh, yeah, totally. Yes. Remember when they broomed the bots that Trump paid good money for?
Hunter Biden. It was a bombshell of a story. Remember this?
Who gets to define misinformation? Was it? Because that looks like a guy's, picture from his phone. Now, I know Russians can't hack a phone. I know they don't have the technology to do that yet. And they certainly don't have the ability to hack a phone, take pictures from it, put it on a hard drive, and then put other stuff from a hard drive, and then concoct other stuff, or make deep fakes and mix them with real and fake pictures, to kind of I know they don't have that capability yet, but one day they could, so we should stay on our toes.
Yeah, there he is.
Yes, I know. This is the view you wish you had of Hunter Biden. We get it, Greg.
The laptop, that's a real story.
Yeah, it's a real story. So is the three Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Abel's Island, one of my favorite stories as a child. Green Eggs and Ham. That's a real story. It's not a real event. It's not a real thing. But it's a real story. Nice disinfo word use there, Greg, in the middle of your misinfo segment. I see. I saw what you did there. Good for you. Yes, Rapunzel is a real story.
And it has not been debunked. And when the
Yes, it has. Well, I mean, I have thoroughly multiple times. Here's what it hasn't been. It hasn't been proven in any way. And even Hunter Biden saying one of his laptops could have been stolen, he has no idea. He might have had an old laptop somebody took somewhere, but that doesn't mean that everything on it isn't put there and that it isn't, like, what kind of an asshole doesn't say that? I'm like, well, we've covered this before.
the New York Post came out with an incredible series about the Biden secret.
Yeah, if only Comey had held this up. Revealed Ukrainian exec thanked Hunter Biden for opportunity to meet Beep Dad, Biden's secret emails. Yeah, I mean, I look, few of us question when the Weekly World News puts Bat Boy on the screen. Why are people afraid? Maybe we could have headed things off at the Wuhan lab had we been able to speak more freely about Bat Boy.
Secret emails. What did big tech do? They called it misinformation.
It is.
And they silenced it.
No, they did not silence it. The New York Post still came out. The New York Post could still sell its newspaper. It had an online version of it. It could send emails out to everybody. The RNC could send emails about, have you seen this week's New York Post? They just didn't carry water for a Russian disinfo campaign. That's why. That's just in case you're wondering.
They limited it.
They limited or elimited?
They called it misinformation, and they silenced it. They limited it.
Eliminated it? Limited it? Limited it?
I'll never get over that.
Yeah, I know. It's one of the, it's quite frankly the silver lining to this whole Hunter Biden laptop bullshit cloud is the fact that I know, we all know in the chat room, that you, Greg Kelly, will never get over the fact that you were never able to play a functional part in lifting Russian disinfo to the level where it wrecked the American election. Boo fuckity who.
Big tech was working against Donald Trump. The media.
No, they just weren't working for Donald Trump. It's an important distinction. You could argue in 2016 they were because Facebook was getting paid in rubles.
Yeah, everybody. Behind the scenes on their computers with their codes and sometimes right out in the open, and it seemed like nobody could do anything about it.
Yeah, it's almost like the RNC couldn't email every Republican in the country, that they couldn't share it with their friends, they couldn't get Sinclair Media to carry it.
Like a lot of people we know at home, had a drug problem. He's overtaken it. He's fixed it. He's worked on it, and I'm proud of him.
But why was he given tens of millions of dollars?
But he wasn't given tens of millions of dollars. That is totally discredited.
We've already been
totally discredited.
We've already been through this. I think the American people would rather hear about more substantial subjects. Well, you know, as the moderator, sir, I'm going to make a judgment call here.
Yeah, Chris Wallace, it had to be Fox. It had to be Fox.
$3.5 million from the mayor of Moscow.
He didn't get $3.5 million from. Oh, there you go. It's fact check. There's no evidence Biden intervened in Ukraine to halt criminal investigation into Burisma, which is true. And of course, Hunter Biden did not get the money. Rosemont Seneca got $3.5 million from the mayor of Moscow's wife, who turned him in, the mayor of Moscow, by the way. And Giuliani's actually on her side because her ex-husband was a crook. And she was basically going, fuck, I have to get my money out of this country because these assholes are going to snuff me once I turn on him. And she sent the money to Rosemont Seneca's German whatever group. And then they invested it on her behalf, which was their job.
Let's talk about it. True.
Gentlemen,
that report is totally discredited. Mitt Romney on that committee said it wasn't worth taxpayers' money, that report. It was written for political reasons.
You know, I'd like to talk about climate change.
So would I.
And they did. They switched topics.
How dare they talk about climate change? Talk about misinformation. Yes, the climate is changing, but it's not our fault. It's not... humans didn't cause it. God has the sky in his hands. And there's never been a situation where humans have fucked up their environment so bad they had to move. Ever.
Hunter Biden, alleged corruption, unbelievably scandalous emails.
Yeah, they are not believable. The scandalous emails are not believable. I agree, Greg.
Censored by big tech and censored by Wallace.
Ah, Fox. Et tu, Fox, eh?
Amazing.
It is amazing. Yeah. Trump could have been president. Yeah. He could have kept doing what he was doing, and we'd have another 600,000 dead, But dreams die hard, Greg.
Amazing. They're not going to censor me.
Yeah, that's true, Greg, because sort of on a couple levels, you and I are in the same boat. Nobody gives a fuck. No one cares what you think, Greg. At least I'm funny. No one gives a shit what Greg Kelly thinks. Not really. I mean, they want to hear him parrot certain things, but they only care in so much as he's saying what they're supposed to hear. That's what Newsmax functions as. If it was somebody else, they would, yeah, okay, what time is it? It's 7 o'clock. Time for my download of Trump Kool-Aid. They don't give a shit. There's no what's the Greg Kelly take on this? How is Greg Kelly gonna handle this with his depth of knowledge about wonky political bills? Fucking no one.
They're trying. They're trying in big ways and small.
Yeah, small ways. Mostly small ways or whatever. Like they made you forget your password on Grindr.
Are you up for the fight?
Greg, buddy, you're not up for the fight. Let the adults work on adult issues. Don't. I mean, you're gonna end up stepping on a rake. It's bad.
I am.
You just watched news.
I am, and then cut. That was their cut. Are you up for the fight? I am. Well, I'm not really. Fuck shit. I can't even. Oh God. Yeah, Greg Kelly, the new E.F. Hutton. Yeah, they're everybody at a restaurant in New York City when Greg Kelly talks, everybody's like, who? Who? Yeah. At least Newsmax has the decency to do their subscribe to our channel posts as full screen things instead of putting Brian Kilmeade in a corner. All right, so let's jump to our next thing. So it's really hard to pick, like, Newsmax, OANs, my sister, my daughter, my sister. It's hard to even figure out. I very seldom, and this is kind of this is a different version of things than we normally do, a little bit spice it up. This is an OAN segment. It's on Rumble, of course. 1580 views. Donald Trump Jr., Biden is patronizing hardworking Americans. Now, this is from I guess the clip they show of him is from the Turning Points USA. Yeah. According to Donald Trump Jr., Joe Biden is failing to impress. Ouch. God damn. Easy on the harsh language, guys. Us betas can't. I'm a snowflake. I can't. How do I even handle? Joe Biden is failing to impress. But don't worry. One America's Yasmin Hovey has more. Which sounds like a sandwich, but okay. Poll: 64% of voters are not confident Kamala Harris is ready to be president. Okay, I watched that chunks on that while I was driving.
Donald Trump Jr. says Biden is failing to impress.
Ouch. Failing to impress. That's Donald. That's literally if Don Jr. goes a day without impressing, there is no fatherly love.
One America's Jasmine Hovey has the details.
Get it, Jasmine.
In a fiery speech, Donald Trump.
In a fiery speech? In a fondly speech, maybe.
Jr. calls out the radical left's blunders.
They're blunders. Oh my God. Look at the smoke and lights.
Speaking at the turning.
Really? What does he think Please tell me he came out and did K-pop. Is that the Naked News channel?
USA Student Action Summit in Tampa, Florida on Sunday. Trump Jr.
Yeah, Was it was it sponsored by a vaping company or?
Said the mainstream media's recent last-ditch effort to downplay concerns about Joe Biden's cognitive state is simply bizarre.
To prove how non-dementia riddled he is.
Oh, this is the Putin one. Yeah.
The media took a quote from Vladimir Putin. They go, no. Look, Vladimir Putin, after talking with Joe Biden, says he's very sharp.
In June, Political Wire published an article saying, quote, Vladimir Putin disputed...
Putin. That's right, Putin. OAN's the One America Network. And we as Americans, we don't say the T in your name. All right? Uh-huh. I'm spilling the tea, Putin. P-U-apostrophe-N. That's your fucking name now, buddy. Putin.
The narrative used by some
this is the
Republicans.
What me worry pose?
Questioning Joe Biden's mental health.
Really?
Really? You don't want to cut back to him going, really? As you're saying mental capability.
Vlad's really sharp. Joe's really sharp. Vlad's...
Also, don't show the part where he swaps the guy's names.
And so, Vlad, look, that's the example. I mean, they are using Putin, who is laughing his ass off at us.
Well, he's like, yeah, you and your dad, sure.
Who's taking us to school on a global basis. You think Vladimir Putin is happy that he's negotiating against Joe Biden versus Trump? He's thrilled. He'll say whatever he wants because he's getting what he wants, right?
Trump Jr. stressed giving Russia freedom to complete their Nord Stream 2 pipeline project, all while...
This is my first time watching an OAN news segment. Do they all sound like school projects? You know what I mean?
Canceling America's Keystone XL pipeline project is...
Canada's Keystone XL pipeline project.
Putting American taxpayers last. Donald Trump Jr. went on to add, while the Biden administration attempts to sugarcoat this, Americans can see right through it.
And then they get really patronizing.
Why didn't you just play the segment? Why are you telling us what he said when you have tape of what he said?
Right?
Why don't you just... Here's a good idea. Why don't you play the actual thing and then play the pictures that you were gonna say, oh, because he talks shit and it's nonsense, and if you actually play the whole thing, he comes off as an asshole, coked out of his gourd, and he gets lost and kind of bored and kind of goes a bunch of times. That's why I see.
You, us, me. Everyone that they consider not one of theirs, the peasants. That's how they think of us. But you should be grateful because you saved 16 cents on your barbecue on 4th of July. But I'll say,
yeah, they had to cut out of that because even they aren't getting what the fuck he's talking about.
The only problem with it is, if you have to get in your car to go get said barbecue, and you drive about...
Look, when they're cutting his dad's flubs out, it's one thing. Because he's older, he kind of got lost his way.
12 feet. Savings is gone.
Trump Jr. went on to add, Biden's business...
Not if you have an electric car. All the way to the store and back.
Dealings with Vladimir Putin suggest a glaring double standard.
It wasn't just an oil pipeline, right? What was the next thing that happened? They canceled an aid package to the Ukraine, right?
No, they didn't. Now, I understand if you were doing a news segment, covering it like I did this live, but even I knew from when that story came out that had since been debunked. That never happened. That did not occur. They cut this shit together months later.
I don't know, guys. I'm old enough to remember 8 months ago when that was grounds for impeachment.
He says...
No. See, driving 6 nails through one piece of wood into another is not a crime. Nor is digging a hole, nor is filling the hole in. But if all 3 of those activities are lined up to bury someone alive, see what happens? It's not the actions that are the problem. It's what you the intent.
On top of putting America last with naive foreign business deals, the Biden administration is actively trying to redefine the American flag as a symbol of oppression.
Actively trying to. This is good. All right, let's see how this happens. As opposed to right-wingers who just want to leave it in a field to get rained on.
Despite the flag standing as a central symbol of freedom since the nation's founding.
Do you think maybe the flag just stands for freedom? For liberty?
For my shirt.
For justice? But
for a prop my dad can rub his dick on.
Because the narrative will now be dictated by the White House and told to social media, that will no longer be the case.
President Trump's son says all this
citation needed
leads to a clear track record of hypocritical leadership.
Are we seeing a pattern here, folks?
Yes. If you snort a bunch of coke before talking to a big group of young people, you'll come across as a guy who fell down a flight of stairs and ended up at a TED Talk.
That's the hypocrisy. And the arbiters of truth want nothing to do with the truth. They are there to fulfill the narrative.
But he warns
Wouldn't they be the arbiters of narrative?
that amid all these blunders, the impacts are devastating for the American middle class and not a laughing matter.
It's hurting a lot of people.
Yeah.
If I'm sitting there being like, man.
Oh, this is the gas thing.
Think of what it's doing to hardworking Americans who are.
That's the gas. That's the filling up his tank. If I was the son of a billionaire, and he actually said the quiet part loud.
Working hard to feed their families. They're taxing the hell out of them already, and that's before they implement the other garbage that they want to throw at you.
He is calling on conservatives to stand together in the face of adversity.
While shitting on rhinos.
Especially as the cards seem increasingly stacked against them. Jasmine Hovey.
Well, it's not cards that are stacked against them. It's cinder blocks in the cells that they're being kept in from trying to murder cops on January 6th. That's stacked against them.
One America News.
Want to see more videos?
No, I don't. I don't even know what the fuck I just watched. Seriously. Doesn't this sound like a high school project? And I'm not sure again why they need it. Is she like the Trump translator in this? Christ Almighty! I mean, obviously, we all know OAN, like RSBN, is really an online money laundering organization. They just through super chats and other stuff that they get on their other networks, they just basically take in money and hide it elsewhere. It's basically like, how can we have the CBN without Pat Robertson's bullshit? That's what this is. Yeah. Okay, so let's have some fun. Come on now. 460 Rumbles. Diamond and Silk discuss Ronna McDaniel, Jenna Ellis, and how people are upset with the RNC. We love some circular firing squad when it deals with the Republicans. Super fun.
Hey y'all, welcome to Diamond and Silk, the podcast.
Hi.
Your host Diamond and Silk and Silk oh Silk.
Diamond oh Diamond.
Okay, so a lot.
I don't know what that means. We're still trying to figure out what the O part, the Irish part thing, the Silk oh Silk and the Diamond oh Diamond. We don't know. I don't know.
Stuff has jumped off. We want to get right into it, but before we
Yes.
do, I want you all to stop right now.
Stop.
If this is your first time, and subscribe to this podcast.
I'm not going to subscribe.
So each time we drop a new episode, you will receive.
I'll have to pick it up. Great, thanks. It's my job. Do you have a scoop or do I use a hand broom?
Notification. And don't forget about our book Uprising. Who the hell said you can't ditch
I had forgotten all about the book.
Diamond
I
and
have
Silk.
to admit.
You can get the book at diamondandsilkbookstore.com. And
Really? Can you get it anywhere else?
don't forget to check us out over there at Chattit. CHAT.
No, I'm not going to forget.
DIT.com.
That's right. Okay, Silk.
Yeah.
Girl, so you know a lot of shenanigans jumped off this week, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. It's a week of jumping shenanigans.
Yes.
Can we turn off the lead-in music, guys? They're done with the promo stuff. Can we cut the
Up the
background
Twitter
music?
feed,
Can
I'm
we-
like,
faded
what's
down.
going on over
Thank
in
you. Yeah, right at what's going on. That was nice. I like
the
it.
midnight hour when I'm minding my business in the night of the darkness or
The night of the darkness.
darkness of the night.
Yeah, either one. The Night of the Darkness of the Night. Both are great horror films. If you haven't seen them, they're great. Gary Busey, Eli Roth, I think, directed them.
That's right.
I see Jenna Ellis and Ronnie McDaniel.
Ronnie McDaniel? Wasn't he the bass player in Three Dog Night? Ronnie McDaniel? Ronnie. Okay. Maybe it's a nickname. Maybe that's what maybe that's what they call Rona McDaniel.
Trending.
Ronnie.
Okay.
Uh-oh. They weren't trending. Why were they trending?
All I can tell you, Silk, is somebody have some splaining to do.
Ah. Yes. Is it? Please tell me this is your Cuba segue.
Explaining to do.
Somebody
Some explaining to do.
have some explaining to do. So it is.
Yeah, I would have edited that whole thing out too. The whole section where you were like, "What show is that?" I Love Juicy, like where they didn't know what it was about. Where's that thing coming? Like, yeah, at best to edit it.
Allege you all that during the course of the election night and at the election night, you know, when the lawyers Gina Ellis and Rudy
Gina, Ronnie. Who gives a shit?
Giuliani was going out trying to fight this here, what was happening in the 2020 election.
They were going out, you mean sitting in their hotel rooms watching television?
The lawyer of the RNC was actually throwing President Trump under the bus and was not fighting for Trump.
You mean I have to like her now?
Now, after the election, you know, money, millions of dollars was raised in support of President Trump, the election, but...
And the big lie?
According to Jenna, and I'm going to allege it all, because, see, I wasn't there.
Yeah, you weren't there. We weren't there. I mean, that's never stopped you before. By the way, I appreciate that you put a pop filter on the Yeti. It's got one built into it. But don't let that stop you. And neither one of you are talking directly into it, so the chances of you popping your P's or your T's is fairly slim. But I'm glad you did it. But you weren't there because we're alleged. Okay.
Okay. Right. So it's being alleged.
Yeah, it's being alleged. By who?
That these people raised money, and they said that they raise more money when we're fighting against Democrats. So
who alleged this? This is ridiculous.
They cared nothing about the election. Right. And it is being alleged.
Oh, I see. So they raise money fighting Democrats, so they don't care about the election. And she was Trump's lawyer through that whole period, and they raised a bunch of money. I need to see the article you guys read, because I don't think it's. I think he has some explaining to do.
That Ronnie McDaniel,
Ronnie McDaniel, he's a prick. That dude, Ronnie. I hate that guy. She
got wind of it. She promised to fire him. Now,
Rudy, or do you think Jenny Ellis is a dude?
Some people are alleging they don't know if Ronnie McDaniel gave the order for this lawyer to stand down, because you know she is the head of the RNC. She's the RNC.
Well, that was a good clip. That was good. I'm glad you guys smooth
chairwoman. Right. So we really don't know. And you know.
Yeah. Don't let that stop you from talking about it, though. I think I would just soldier ahead if I were you. Just not knowing what the fuck happened, or who was behind it, or who might be guilty, or if it's even true at all. I mean, honestly, if you waited to find out those kind of details, you'd never have a podcast. So I would say swing for the fences.
You know, I hate getting...
Yeah, Rodney McDowell. Anyways.
...into spats, because I need to know what's going on. Now, here's the crazy thing.
Here.
So Ronnie McDaniel and people from the RNC have come...
Yeah, Rodney McDowell and Jason Ellis.
...come out and make the case that all of these allegations came from a book from... can't remember his first name, but his last name is Wolf.
Richard Wolf? Or...
Well, I know he...
Big Bad? Was it Big Bad? It was Big Bad. That's right.
He's written another. He wrote a book.
Yeah, he's written a couple of things.
I previously wrote a book. I didn't really read that, but a lot.
You're kidding. I'm not. Okay. Diamond and Silk, I'm not. You're just not. I'm not feeling good about the information that I'm gonna. Shit.
A lot of stuff was coming out. So, okay, I gave that to that side.
Okay.
Okay, now you're in trouble because Silk doesn't know what the fuck you're talking about.
But then Gina Ellis came out.
Gina Ellis, totally different person.
With text messages and emails.
Right.
Supporting what she said.
was saying. Right.
Yeah.
Somebody have some explaining to do.
Some explaining.
Now, we know that President Trump called Wolf's previous books.
Book Wolf. It's a store in West Hollywood I go to. It's fantastic. They have coffee and you buy novels.
Lies. But I want to know, is this a lie?
So far, they're 200% at not knowing anyone's first name. But hey, this is where you go for information. They are a source.
Did the RNC...
It was Beowulf, you're right.
Or did this lawyer that works for the RNC throw President Trump up under the bus?
Up under the bus. Down under the bus. I'm sorry.
Millions
if I start nitpicking that shit, we're going to be here all night.
Dollars was raised. This was supposed to fight election integrity.
Yes, that's what Trump's been doing. He's been fighting election integrity his whole political life.
This was supposed to fight that.
I'm going to die.
And what were you all doing?
I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what you're talking about, so it's hard to part. Fucking hell.
All I can say is this.
Please. All right, Silk, please bring this home. Because I don't know what the fuck Diamond is talking about, and I need you to be my ears, Silk. Explain to me, translate some of this horse shit so that I could grasp it. I really... All right.
Millions of dollars was raised before the election.
Come on.
Okay, before the election. And, all right, and whatever happened on election... All right, I'm sorry, go ahead. Millions was raised before.
Millions of dollars was raised after election.
Okay.
Based off of election integrity.
Right.
Yes, they wanted to fight election integrity. Right, we got that.
What measures did the RNC put in place?
What mattress? I'm sorry, what?
After election,
yes.
Based off of election integrity.
All right.
What measures did the RNC put in place to fight against the steal that you saw what was going to happen? All of this different stuff that was going on, okay? And the Democrats was putting in place. Where was the RNC to take and line different things up?
Right.
Yeah. What? Diamond, help me out here. I need you to translate what Silk was saying. Because I was hoping that this would bail us out. I'm really fucking confused right now. And I need to know what mattress they put in place.
They were nowhere to be found.
Nowhere.
No, where's the RNC? Yeah, RNC. Yeah, there's something I can agree with them on. Yeah, Diamond and Silk and Sparks are calling you out, Ronnie McDowell and Janine Ellis, whatever the fuck your name is.
To be found.
And this is what the reason why we keep talking about this. I
don't know. I don't know what you're talking about, much less why you're talking about it.
Before even Jenna came out with this.
Right.
At least you got her name right once. We have to take the small victory.
We have been saying not to give the RNC not one damn dime, not one red cent.
That's right.
I love these two women, and I want to have their babies.
We only went off for our guts. The only thing we couldn't figure out, Why wasn't President Trump protected, but money was raised off of his name?
That's right.
Not Ronnie McDaniel, not the
No, Ronnie McDaniel doesn't know shit.
RNC, but because it was President Trump.
And if you think about this, back in 2016, on the night of the election,
Right.
whenever it seemed like Hillary Clinton wasn't going to concede.
That's right. When she was not going to concede, you all, we were sitting up there because there was a lot of food or whatever. But there
Yeah, that's why I said it. Or yeah, food and whatever.
we were surrounded by lawyers.
Right.
They were preparing to fly.
They weren't eating. We're surrounded by lawyers. They were preparing stuff, whatever. They're like, there's this whole spread here and nobody's eating it.
Wherever
fly.
they needed to go.
Right.
To
Yeah.
get
People
this
was-
thing up.
Yes,
People
they
was
was-
in place.
Yeah, they were there.
And we know.
Oh, so in the beginning, the RNC and everybody was a functional entity that was supporting the Republican candidate for president. And then after 4 years of Trump running things, they were a shitstorm and couldn't find their ass with both hands. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, that follows.
Notice during the 2020 election, President Trump said what they were going to try to do.
People was out of place.
And nobody
They weren't. Yeah, they were under the bus.
was
Apparently.
in place. But everything fell on Rudy Giuliani.
Yeah, Rudy Giuliani. Rudy Giuliani. Slow down, ladies. We're not in a hurry. We're here for you. Listen, we'll wait. I mean, at the number of do they rehearse this stuff? Rudy Giuliani.
Right.
And Gina Ellis.
That's right.
And Gina Ellis. We had her name for a second, then we just fucked it up again.
And I can't call Gina no liar
Because there is no Gina. It's Jenna.
she got receipts. She had proof.
She have the proof.
I want to know where is Ronnie McDaniel proof?
Yeah.
Yeah, where's Ronnie McDaniel at all? There isn't a Ronnie McDaniel. On your post, Rana and Jenna. This is gorgeous.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to throw anybody under the bus.
Well, there wouldn't be any room. Trump's under there, and he's a fat son of a bitch. Sorry.
But Chairwoman, Miss Chairwoman, we looking at you.
Right.
We've campaigned together. We've been on a bus tour together.
Yeah.
We've been at the White House together. We've been at
And you still don't know her name.
rallies together.
Yeah.
And you still don't know her name.
Yeah.
I don't want to feel within my hearts of hearts
That I'm mispronouncing your name.
that you was trying to throw President Trump under the bus.
Well, she didn't. Obviously, this Ronnie person is the problem.
Right.
So you gonna have to come out and explain
How your name is pronounced.
why Jenna have
What is this? Donna, but with an R? What kind of bullshit is this?
text message and emails.
That's right.
She ain't going off no book. She
Books. Books.
She had the truth with proof. Look like.
No. Boop.
Wait a minute. She had the truth of proof and then she just started making booping noises? Hold on. Silk, what are you doing?
Why Jenna have text message and emails?
That's right.
She ain't going off no book.
No.
She had the truth with proof. Look like.
No. Boop. She has that.
I don't know what that... She suddenly turned into R2-D2. I don't know. No, come out, my friend. Don't worry about him. He'll be fine. Boop, 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 boop. What recording? The one you're holding inside your rusty innards.
So when I think of even the Republican Party, there was a lot of deep state snakers that threw our president under the bus.
Up under the bus.
Especially after President Trump helped
Well, if they're snakes, wouldn't they be... I mean, that's a place where they'd hang out.
them get in.
Correct.
To their position.
That's right.
Okay? But you took and you backed the bus up and you threw our
You
president.
came and you gave without taking, and you sent me away. Oh, dandy.
Then under it and just I mean,
They just backed over him and then rolled over him and then had to change the tires, obviously, because his denture slipped and it pierced him.
Where was the fight at?
There was.
Yeah, where was the fight?
Well, they was acting like they were fighting.
Yeah.
Well, sure. I mean, you have to raise that kind of money.
But no, but from what I'm
But what
hearing,
they was doing was raising money
Oh,
off
yeah.
of the fight.
That does not. That what kind of capitalist pigs, American capitalist pig kind of shit is this? This is you. Any money raised is for the people.
Right, but
But doing nothing about it.
No.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Well, yeah. I mean, this might be all bullshit. This Ronnie McDaniel person may not even exist.
Allegedly. Okay. Yeah, we could say
So
allegedly.
I'm looking at
We could say it.
all of this here, and it takes me back to election night.
Yes. Yeah. Let's go back. Wait. Doodle-a-doop. 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 Let's go back to election night. Take us back. Spin a yarn, Diamond. Tell us the story. What happened? What was it like? What was the spread like?
Yeah.
You know, we was at the White House.
Mm-hmm. You were.
That's right.
Watching it all go down in the Red Room.
Mm-hmm. The Red Room.
Mm-hmm.
Well.
Here comes the tea. That must be the tea.
I remember seeing Bill Barr after they called it for Fox called it for Arizona.
Wait a minute. Arizona is president?
Tipping out like he didn't want to be seen.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
I didn't know what that was about.
Did you see Trump? Did you see the look on his face? You think what that might have been about?
But I know what it was about.
I know.
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously, he was running over to a Republican fundraiser to make some cheddar.
Yes. Yeah.
Here's another thing I'm going to...
Oh, yes. Please, just, no. Skip past any more details. That's all I needed to know, was that Bill Barr left when they called Arizona because it was clear Trump was losing and rats leave sinking ships. It's just what they do.
And then I'm going to leave that. I'm going to leave everything else.
Don't fill in any details. It's much more poetic if I just, I would just give me a haiku of why Bill Barr left.
For a nice juicy book.
Yeah.
I remember seeing going...
Oh, they're going to have a nice juicy book. I'm very excited. I would love to read Diamond and Silk's book about election night.
downstairs to use the bathroom.
Okay, too much information. I mean, I don't care why you went. You know, if you got to go to the bathroom, maybe keep a journal.
And seeing Ronnie McDaniel on the phone pacing back and forth.
Wait a minute. Was Ronnie McDaniel in the ladies' room? This trans stuff has gone too far. We have to stop this. Next thing you know, they'll be playing women's sports.
I didn't know what that was about.
Yeah, why would anybody be on the phone on election night?
Because she looked it very serious.
Yeah, it's almost like the election was a serious endeavor.
Like something was going on.
Like an election? Folks, this is election night.
But it's just, everything is just coming back to my memory.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We're watching, this is one of her first of many hypnosis sessions.
What the hell were you all doing? And
yeah, on the phone.
Why wasn't President Trump protected?
From what?
You all want us to don't see nothing, don't say nothing. When I see you doing that, you going along with what the Democrats want.
That's right.
That's right. When you're on the phone on election night with a serious look on your face, what are you doing? Calling Karl Marx? Huh? Talking to AOC?
That's right.
I don't know what the fuck. I don't know what the fuck. What are they supposed to be doing? Don't get me wrong. I don't give a shit. I mean, I'm glad they're attacking the RNC. This is sweet. But I'm still confused about... I need... See, if the infighting's going to work, I need Republicans that watch this to go, oh, that's terrible. But I think a lot of them are just kind of like, I'm trying to follow this, man. I watch Diamond and Silk because diversity is our strength, but I don't know why. Of course, Ronnie McDaniel is going to... And by the way, I feel better about the RNC knowing a man's in charge. Ronnie McDaniel's on the goddamn phone. And Bill Barr went straight over to the DOJ in case he needs to file some lawsuits or some shit.
Yeah, $200 million raised. Where is the money?
Yeah, where is the money? Wait, the RNC raised this money? I'm guessing they're using it to pay for, like, 2022, or they're going to.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah. I mean, it's not like there are receipts or
Another
anything.
thing, the RNC is
Nobody tracks where money goes.
also putting out an ad around this big game that's happening.
Yeah, which is obviously free.
And I don't know where it's happening at.
This big game that's happening? You mean like Super Bowl or World Cup, something? That doesn't cost any money.
About election integrity. But you all ain't talking about what's happening in 2020. CRNC, here's the deal.
Right.
All right, tell them.
We want you all to stand up, get this little lawyer to stand up, and if he can't, he needs to be fired.
That's right, if he still works there.
He needs to be fired.
Yeah.
Because he helped you raise $200 million.
To fight what happened in 2020.
That's right.
Information is coming out in Maricopa County that the number of ballots do not match up with what they said.
Some stuff.
You mean the ones, you mean like they gave a bunch of assholes boxes with 20,000 ballots in it, and they're getting back boxes with different numbers of ballots in them, with fewer ballots in them? And that's Maricopa County's fault, not Cyber Ninja's fault? You don't find that at all suspicious? You don't think it's funny that they're doing a recount afterwards because they don't trust Cyber Ninjas because they fucked around stuff and took things out of the ballot cages that... Never mind.
Something is coming out in Georgia about, they don't call it voter fraud,
well, because it is
voter integrity. They call it illegal votes,
Right.
where you had people illegally voting, and this could have tipped the election
and made... It could have also, I guess, if it existed, and again... They've stopped using the word allegedly, but I'll use it. If it allegedly, it could very well be that those fake votes were purchased by Trump, and they just weren't enough to put him over the top, and they were actually should go into Biden's corner.
President Trump's fake.
You're talking about in Georgia, right?
Yeah, look up. It's a small state. Oh, a little above Florida.
Right.
Okay, so they want to make it look like it's new evidence. I want to let people know that no, this is not new evidence.
No, it's the same shit. Right. Yeah, I mean, it's the same lie people have told over and over. Nobody's discovered anything new.
We saw it all go down.
We saw it happening.
We saw what was happening.
That's right.
Wait a minute. There was Georgia election fraud going on the night of the election in the White House, in the Red Room? You saw, Ronnie McDaniel was coordinating Georgia election fraud, and you watched it on your way to the bathroom?
Right.
Okay, but Americans were bullied into silence.
Well, I wasn't. I'm yappy as a motherfucker.
That's what
we
they
were
did.
censored.
You were scissored. I thought you ladies were straight. I did not know that.
Okay, but we saw it all go down.
That's right.
We knew what was going to happen.
Yeah, you watched Ronnie McDaniel on the phone, and you're like, this person is coordinating voter fraud in Georgia. And they were very serious, had a big, we faked all these votes, and yet Trump's still going to lose? What the hell am I paying you for? Kind of stuff. That's what you saw?
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Oh, the what lawyer? Carrie Rose is saying, what lawyer? I can't, we don't know. It's a RNC lawyer that they did not, they've forgotten the first names of most people, mispronounced the others. They didn't even give a name for this guy, and it's the entire crux of the video. Every aspect of this entire podcast they're doing, all of it is about this dude who may or may not be a dude, and they never said his name.
And so, and also let me say that
You're allowed.
I don't care.
Okay, that's clear.
How many election laws that they continue to implement?
Come on.
If no one is held accountable for breaking the previous laws, what makes you think that they won't break the new law?
Yeah, why even vote? Look, Republicans, I think if anything, listen to Diamond and Silk. You can't trust elections. Why are you even bothering? You're going to go stand in line for, 10 minutes, because in your neighborhood there's lots of voting machines. But you're going to get out of your easy chair, put down your Coors Light, smack your wife in the head on the way out the door, get in your truck, Your F-150 that you never have put a payload in, but you just drive to the mall, but it looks tough. Pull over, stand in line with like 3 other people who don't look like they belong, fill out some paperwork to vote in an election that they're probably going to twist anyways. Yeah, just stay home. Listen to Diamond and Silk.
Hello.
And
goodbye.
This thing about you ain't see nothing here. Move along.
Right.
Oh hell no, we're not doing.
Oh no.
No.
We're not moving along. No. We're gonna keep grinding on this. Yes, Diamond Silk. Keep focus on this. People will try to go. Will look at the election and think, well, it's settled and Joe Biden actually won and reality is a don't buy into that. Don't buy into reality. There's no money in it. Stick with the 2020 narrative. It is almost fall.
Americans are not doing that.
Well, I'm an American, and I mean, technically, I guess I do look at. She's got me. Look back at the 2020 election quite a bit on the show as comedy fodder, but okay.
RNC, if you want to know why your numbers are down and people are not donating, they are pissed off with you all.
That's right.
That's right. Yeah, RNC. What? Look at. How do you even Ronnie McDaniel and Genuine Ellis? How do you even look yourself in the face?
Because you didn't do right by President Trump.
You did not.
That's right.
These people.
It's like, do you even Republican, bro?
We all love this man. You did not do right by him.
No.
And he raised money on behalf of the RNC. Oh. You wouldn't have been able to raise that amount of money without Trump.
Without Trump.
You couldn't do it yourself.
That's right. Beep boop. Right.
And according to Jenna, I don't even think we need the RNC.
I agree. I mean, if I was you, I would just take over any event that they have and just kind of, Republican National Committee, break it up. I mean, for the good of Trump and the conservative movement. Yeah, I mean, the whole party's got to go.
Well, they need President Trump.
Yeah,
that's right.
And this is what I'm telling people. We've been telling people this.
Yeah, keep telling them.
Listen, donate directly to President Trump.
That's right.
Yeah, do that.
Donate directly to your candidate.
Yeah.
That's right. Which is only Donald Trump.
But I'm sorry. Right now, I wouldn't give the RNC not one damn dime, not one red cent.
Not one.
I'm so sorry, y'all.
Not
Listen,
one.
I know.
They took and they continue to send me all of this mail. Okay, wanting me to donate. And see, this was back on June the 3rd.
Right.
Yeah. A day that shall live in infamy.
Okay. At 9:19 p.m.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. I'm in the middle of my stories.
Eastern Standard Time.
So even later than it was here.
I had to tweet.
Hype train.
This out.
Go ahead, girl.
Okay.
You had to.
Or
I'm sorry, you're still on Twitter? I thought everyone was canceled. Well,
or social media it out.
Yeah, chat it.
I said, dear RNC, stop mailing, emailing, and calling us for donations. How do you expect for us to support you when you didn't support the American people? We don't plan on giving you one damn dime or one red cent. We will only support the individual candidates who puts American first.
That's right.
Who puts American first?
And then
that she wasn't done.
I came
now there is a little hyperlink at the bottom of all these emails that makes you unsubscribe to them. So I don't know that you can tweet the RNC and they'll stop sending you mail.
Back. Because
Thanks,
I got
RNC
more mail, okay? On July the 12th.
It didn't work, is what you're saying.
8:13 p.m. ET. Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah.
Not extraterrestrial? I was so confused for a moment.
I had to send out another social media message.
And what you sent out, girl?
I said, dear RNC, stop mailing, emailing, and calling us for donations. How do you expect for us to support the RNC when the RNC did not support President Trump?
I think that's the same thing you said last time. And if it wasn't effective and they're still sending you shit, maybe, I don't know, maybe spice it up a little.
You raised millions of dollars off of the president's name. We don't plan on giving you one damn dime or one red cent. I want people to understand.
What did they say on June 19th?
That we supposed to be the Republican Party.
Right.
We supposed to raise money as the Republican Party.
That's right.
For situations that arises. But when you don't put measures in place and you got the money to do it, and we know you got the money to do it, and you run away from the responsibility of protect.
What the fuck do you think they were supposed to do with the money they raised about election? Does anybody know what the fuck they're insisting the RNC... Was the RNC supposed to pay the Trump campaign's... Are they supposed to play Rudy Giuliani? Because I was at the beginning of this, I was thinking that they were, like, Trump's paying them as little hype people to bring money to his thing. But it sounds like Rudy Giuliani was expecting him to get paid... I don't know.
Okay? The head of the party, President...
Please tell me you explain more of this.
Trump?
Right.
Well, not anymore, obviously.
The people saw this.
Right.
The people see this. And the people are angry about this.
Right.
Now, you come along now, RNC.
Come on.
Right now. And you're implementing yourselves in some of these cases. And you're going to court.
So they hired lawyers and they're doing stuff now with the money that they raised because they built a strategy and they're doing it right now.
And you win in some of these cases. But where were you at back in 2020?
When we need...
What the fuck were they supposed to do? How did I end up at this? Why am I defending the RNC to these two assholes? What?
When we needed you. Whenever the Supreme Court justices would not do their jobs.
Well, they did their jobs. You just didn't like the result of their jobs.
And they are corrupt.
Well, don't get me started on who paid Brett Kavanaugh's bills. Sorry, I should use the Trump vernacular. Brat Kavanaugh.
We have laws.
That's right.
In this country.
It's true.
And the Supreme Court justices is supposed to decipher which law is lawful.
Right.
Sure.
But they didn't do their job. And where was the RNC at on that?
So we're hiding. This lawyer needs to be fired.
Yeah. Who?
He should not represent the RNC.
Ronnie McDaniel?
He should not be the lawyer for the RNC if he did not stand up and do his job when it came to this 2020.
What do you mean? While you were eating at the White House on election night? When the fuck is this person? I found an article on Daily Phone News fired DNS for spreading... Diamond and Silk for spreading fake news about COVID-19. Fox has cut ties with MAGA vlogging superstars Diamond and Silk, who had contributed original content to the network's streaming service, Fox Nation. And they replaced him with Tucker Carlson. That worked out well.
That's right.
That's what needs to happen.
He was concerned about running against the Democrats, running to beat Democrats.
Allegedly.
Not running or not using the money or finance to protect President Trump.
Right.
And I would say...
Yeah, that's it.
Allegedly.
Yeah. And that's what we are trying to get you all
to use the word allegedly
at the RNC to see.
To see.
People say, "Oh my God, it's infight." No, forget about the infight.
Yeah.
I can't. I honest to God, you know when there are bad things that keep you up at night, there are also occasionally good things that keep you up at night. Like I find myself spontaneously laughing at these assholes and the RNC and Trump bitching about Republicans and all the infighting. Like I literally sometimes just
We will never have another free and fair election until they straighten this out.
They
running this here like it's a banana republic.
That's
right. You think we supposed to sit back and see the RNC?
Thank you for cutting that part out. They were about to drop some Haiti bombs, and I just think it was not appropriate.
Hand our country over to these radicals.
That's
right. You think we supposed to be?
Hold on, ladies. Maybe I was wrong about the pop filter. Shit.
Getting and grinning with you? You think we go?
I'm sorry. What was the phrase? What was the phrase? This is a new one. I made.
Forget about the infight.
Yeah.
We will never have another free and fair election until they straighten this out.
Until they
running this here like it's a banana republic.
That's
and
right.
You think we supposed to sit back and see the RNC help hand our country over to these radicals?
That's right.
And you think we supposed to be skinning and grinning with you? You think?
Ooh, skinning and grinning. I like that. Boogie-da, boogie-da. Here it come. Look at that, look at that. And he ain't wearing no clothes. That's why they call him the streak. Skinning and grinning and.
We gonna pull out our hard-earned money and give it to you?
Hard-earned?
When this
Really? You didn't even read Wolf's book, and you're.
mofo up here in the White House got us living with inflation. Food costs done gone up. Gas done gone up. Automobile costs done gone up. Wood to build houses done gone up. And you think that you gonna take our dollar? No.
Well, I mean, please tell me that Diamond and Silk are having trouble getting wood.
We got to save it for this BS. You all help put us in. That's what we have to do.
There was a tweet that
They calmed down. Apparently they had to walk that off, I think. By the way, none of these edits are mine. Let's be abundantly clear. None of these edits are mine. I'm not snipping any of this stuff. I'm not tightening. Jesus.
at Dinesh D'Souza.
Dinesh. Denise. Call him Denise. Hold on. Where is it? This one? Ladies and gentlemen, Denise D'Souza. You heard it. You heard it. That's what Diamond and Silk call him. That's what I'm calling him from now on. Ladies and gentlemen, Denise D'Souza. All right. Go ahead.
D'Souza put out that I would like to read.
Go ahead and read
Okay.
it.
It has something to do
Was there a problem with the first draft of the reading?
with what's going on there in Cuba.
Okay, all right.
Okay,
And we
okay.
don't like it either, what's going on
You don't like it, what's going on in Cuba.
over there in Cuba.
What part?
That's right.
Come on.
So
No, we don't like it. Why don't you like it? I mean, for the record, can I go on the record and say I do like what's going on in Cuba? I wish better for the Cuban people, but I'm glad they're protesting the government. I do not support their system of government, which is, again, socialist or communist, whatever you want to call it, but ultimately it's an authoritarian regime run by a regime. I'm for it. I just worry about the safety of the Cuban people. But the fact that they're actually marching the streets for their rights and the like, I mean, I do support that. I mean, like's a weird word. She's like and dislike is kind of important. All right. Go Cuban people. Fuck you, Cuban government. How's that? Does that work for everybody? Regime.
And that's the BS I'm talking about. You know, with the government over there in Cuba.
Yes.
Okay. Giving their citizens only 5 eggs.
Really? We're still on the 5 egg shit? They're really hung up on this 5 egg thing.
5 eggs
per month.
5 eggs per month and $15 per month. Girl, by the time me and you take, and you have 2 eggs, and I have 2 eggs,
And then there's just 1 egg sitting in the table and we're just staring at each other. Don't you reach for that fucking egg. We're going to split that egg tomorrow. Every week we got 2 eggs, you get 2 eggs. That egg stays there till next month.
morning. We ain't got but 1 egg to last us a month. For the rest of the month.
We got to starve the rest of the month.
And you
Well, technically there's 2 of you, and I think you live together, so in that system you'd get 10 eggs. I still think that's far too few. I'm not for it. I mean, obviously the Cuban government could lower their tariffs and take in stuff, but the communist government actually drives away almost all external trade with their tariffs. So, which arguably they have more in common with the way Trump wanted to run things.
mean to tell me you want to stop these people that's experiencing communism and they
Eggless communism.
can't eat from, you want to arrest them
Well, they can, but they got to make an egg last.
when they come to the United States?
Yeah.
But you got our border wide open. Go ahead, read what it said, girl. Read what it said.
So Dinesh D'Souza
Denise, yeah.
posted a tweet.
Dinesh, but
He said, kudos to the GOP for going all in on the cause of political prisoners in Castro's Cuba. But how about some similar outrage over the political prisoners right here in Biden's America? Hashtag January the 6th.
Well, he is right.
Tell him. I mean, obviously, these political prisoners over there are just asking for food, medicine, and the like, and they didn't actually. No, all of them were just walking in the street, and they were scooped up. They didn't storm a Capitol building and beat officers nearly to death.
Oh, you got people still locked up.
Yeah, for assault and battery, for vandalism, violence, B&E.
For taking a cell phone in the Capitol, and they calling it an insurrection.
That's right.
But all of them people that destroyed this damn country during the summer of last year.
Yeah, if they broke laws, they're going to go to jail, and they should go to jail. I mean, you do realize there's an entire FBI Twitter account full of all the people from the riots and all the major cities that had them that are like, yeah, this fucker and this fucker and this fucker. But you don't care because, yeah, hashtag January 6th.
Looted and burned down businesses.
Yeah.
You got this regime.
That's what I wear. New regimes. Sorry. Okay.
This mofo, whoever letting these people out.
Whoever.
Oh, come on.
Allegedly.
That's right.
I'll say allegedly. Just in case I ain't got which one let you out.
That's right.
Yeah, allegedly letting them out. Yeah, they're not letting them out. I mean, there's some DAs who are letting people who are scooped up in that stuff who were just protesting, they're getting out. And with them, some people who were actually involved in the violence are getting out too. But, then they get arrested and they actually get caught and turned in or something like that. Then they stay in jail.
Right, that's right. But the GOP, where are you at on this right here?
Yeah. Where are you? Other than, calling for the release of people who tased a cop until he had a heart attack and gouged another one's eye out, broke another one's thumb, cracked one's spine. Besides clamoring daily for the release of those folks or for them to be left alone and never found in the first place, where are you on that?
Here. Yes. Okay. How is it?
Oh, I know who you're. You lost the election and you're in the minority. That's right.
That people are still locked up, and where is their due process?
Well, they get due process. They can either get bonded and get out, or they'll be denied bail or bond, depending on their behavior. That's their due process. They're not due more than that. They have a court-appointed lawyer, or they can hire one of their own. You mean that part of due process?
That's right.
Okay. Now, you have the DOJ.
Yes.
They're going to...
That spells dog, I think.
...be spending $6.1 million on a January 6th database. Where is the database for Antifa? Where is the database?
Well, the FBI counterterrorism organization has accumulated accounts of individuals, but Antifa is not technically a singular organization. It's like trying to have an anarchist database
for Black Lives Matter.
Well, they have membership stuff. You could just kind of tap into their computers, wouldn't you? I mean, you don't even have to pay for that. They already have it.
Huh? Where are my Republicans at? Kicking back against this.
Yeah, kicking back against this. Pushing back against this. If they were kicking back, they would be ignoring it. Oh, they're doing that. Okay.
$1 million to basically terrorize Americans that
terrorized police officers and members of Congress in our representative government on one of the most crucial days in our democratic process. I'm just fucking with you.
Was in the Capitol January the 6th. Let me tell you something about the Capitol.
Okay, tell us about the Capitol.
The Capitol is not Nancy Pelosi house.
That's right.
It's the people house.
That's right.
It is the Peepo House. It is true. You do actually you do realize though that you don't get to storm it and hurt cops in the process. What?
Right. So people being on the property
Illegally when there's fences up.
they had a right to be on the property.
No, they didn't.
That's right.
But
No, they didn't. You don't have the right because federal taxes pay for federal buildings to just go in any entrance anywhere you want at any given fucking time. What kind of security would you have as a country if every Fang, every Chinese agent, every Russian agent, every Iranian, every Yemeni dude could just walk up and go, I'm a citizen. You can't even ask me. Let me in.
the people
Like you have to understand. Like I don't get where this thought doesn't like hit a dead stop in their brain and go, oh, I'm bullshitting.
that scaled those walls. Because there was
tell us about the people who scaled the wall.
a person there
Uh-huh.
that was a Black Lives Matter
Oh, what'd you cut out? What the fuck was that?
member.
Yes.
Okay.
There was a person there who was a Black Lives Matter member. Where are they now?
And he sold the footage back to CNN. Nobody's
Yeah, he sold it to CNN.
talking about. His name is John Sullivan.
And can we also speak about how a lot of those people were let into the Capitol?
On one side,
Yeah, I mean, after the cops were overrun and after the cops were in danger and they couldn't hold them back and they figured, oh, we'll let them pass this point because they're not going to do any real damage. You mean that, folks? Or the ones on the side? You're clearly not talking about the ones that broke down the door or broke the windows. You're just ignoring those. The people who went around the side and were like, yeah, come on in. Those folks who just, I mean, all they did was smear some shit on some walls and steal some stuff. But the people who broke through the door and crushed a cop's vertebrae, those, you're not going to bring those folks up?
people were let into the Capitol.
Yeah, it was a love fest.
Right.
On the other side, people scaled the walls. And the people that scaled the walls,
Those are the ones should probably be held accountable.
That's
Those
right.
are the ones that was doing something.
who were they?
Right.
Hey,
Yeah, they have pictures of them.
I don't see anybody that was scaling the wall. But the people that were let into the Capitol, those are the ones that I see locked up.
Right.
What? You can't not have seen that they've arrested people who beat cops. Beat a fucking cop with a Blue Lives Matter flag. For God's sake, Diamond and Silk. I mean, you've been bullshitting us for 20 minutes now. But that one, I mean, you can't just pretend you didn't see that shit. Lock up the wall scalers, but the people who were let in should go. Most of them were, dumb fuck. There's like 5,000 people. There's like 700 open cases.
Yeah, something is wrong about all of
Yes, your ability to interpret things you see, hear, and read.
this, you all.
Yeah.
And, to the people of Cuba, we want to see you all free.
Yeah.
I think they should have the opportunity to come to the United States because
Thank you for the super chat.
nobody want to live up under this socialist, communist BS. Nobody.
Yeah, nobody wants to live up under the socialist communist BS. This is true. You don't want to live. You want to live beside it, on top of it. I wouldn't want to live adjacent to it. I wouldn't even want to be, communist adjacent. That would suck.
Nobody wants to live up under that.
Nobody
No.
want to live up under it.
Well, I
but
only
you
get
know
5
what?
eggs. Well, you only get 5 eggs a month and 15
Yeah, I don't know that that's the biggest problem they have.
When I look at it,
Per person. So if you have kids, the kids get 5 eggs, and the whole house gets about 25 eggs total. They could have more eggs, but they have a tariff on any goods coming into the country that makes it almost impossible for people to get stuff. It's one of the reasons why they run out of shit.
that's what's happening right here in the United States
That's
of
right.
America.
That's right.
It's coming here.
Really,
Is it? Yeah, 5 eggs brigade.
on the
really
swat
fast.
away.
Yeah, it's right.
I saw a bunch of Antifa people with an egg on their flag, And they were just, no, sorry, that was an old Twitter
here.
post.
And when I'm looking at all of this right here, that's what's happening right here in the United States.
Yeah, I mean, it's indistinguishable. I mean, they're clamoring for vaccines they can't get. We have more than we know what to do with, and assholes like Diamond and Silk are talking people out of taking it. It's the same.
Of America. You know, to deliberately spy on American citizens, our tax.
Well, you can't accidentally spy on someone. Is it like, then it wouldn't spy. Just like, I tripped and fell, and my face fell in your diary.
Messages. Just
on their what messages? Text
to
messages?
see what we're saying. What you're doing is...
Well, they're not just seeing what you're saying. It was an extraordinary event, and so they did an intel pull on everybody that was present because it was a criminal act. I mean, you do 9/11, you guys forgot about that, didn't you?
You're turning the United States of America into a communist country.
That's what you're doing.
That's what they're doing. That's what's happening. That's what happens in communist countries.
What you're doing.
Well, you have to
Yeah, they give every person who storms the Capitol 5 eggs only.
I understand now. These Democrats, a lot of them sided with Cuba, Biden, and
Venezuela.
Obama. No, not Venezuela. Cuba. They praise Cuba. Bernie Sanders praised their medical system. But what kind of medical system is that when you only have 15?
Yeah, we know Sanders did. What was the Biden part?
$15 and you're not eating but 5 eggs a month.
Yeah, $15 and 5 eggs.
Right. See, that thing got me because I'm an egg eater.
We've gathered that. Do you unhinge your jaw? Is it ostrich eggs?
So that got me right there. Only 5 eggs a month?
Right.
You should let them all have chickens where they can grow their own eggs.
Well, they do. That's a communist country. That's the kind of the thing.
But see, when you have these different people that's in government, it's called government overreach.
That's clearly. I would argue that communism is the definition of government overreach.
That want to put their knees on the people's neck.
That's right.
Yeah, and they're crushing their eggs.
Okay, and guess what? Cuba get money. Cuba get billions of dollars from what I'm hearing.
Yes.
So why is the people so poor over there?
Right.
What's wrong with y'all?
I feel you. She's fucking losing her shit. What the fuck's wrong with you, Cuba?
And see, that's my deal. I don't know if you remember me saying this, Diamond.
I don't remember it. I don't remember what you said in the beginning. I blanked the whole thing out. I'm smelling burnt toast just listening to this shit.
The United States sent a lot of money.
Yes.
Right.
To a lot of different foreign countries.
That's true.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, like Israel. Sure.
To aid them.
Right.
Right.
In their economics and so forth.
Right.
But
they're egg gathering.
It never reached the people.
It never reached the people. Now, I'm not for sure if the United States of America send money to Cuba.
No.
But I heard on the news that they get billions of dollars.
Oh.
Well, yeah, they do because Eastern European and Russians and they come and stay in the hotels and that kind of stuff. They're footsie with China as well, and people don't own parts of. It's like, never mind. You mean we're sending them checks like Iran?
But why isn't it reaching the people?
Because it's a communist country run by the Castros and fuck them. We all agree on that part of it. I don't understand what your confusion about this is.
It's a communist country.
Right.
They want to control their people. They want their people to be like paupers and slaves. And what's got to happen to their people do have to rise up. Yes. But here's the deal. If they are seeking asylum here, let them.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, the problem is you don't know who is actually coming here for asylum or who is sent by the Castro regime. They've had problems with that in the past. They undermine the Cuban movement and can send people over that kill people within the Cuban people in Florida, for example, who live there and stuff. So you got to be kind of extra careful because it's never mind.
Because they have every right to. They ain't eating enough, and they don't even have enough money.
They don't have enough eggs.
Money to take care of their family.
That's right. $15 and 5 eggs.
Especially if you got that border wide open.
That's right. Listen, you all, thank you so much for joining the podcast.
I for one, I'm glad I was here.
Hey, don't forget to subscribe to our podcast. So each time we drop a new episode, you will receive notification. And
yeah, excuse me. I'm going to have to send you a social media message that says, Diamond Silk, do not send any emails or call me for my money because you didn't fight for Trump lately.
Don't forget about our book, Uprising. Who the hell said you can't ditch a switch? The Awakening of Diamond and Silk. You can get the book at diamondandsilkbookstore.com.
Be sure to check us out over there at Chattit, ChatDit.com.
Yeah, I don't know that I'm going to do that, honestly.
And don't forget to give us a review, and a 5-star would do.
So we was just coming to give y'all the 211. We called it the 211 because it's two of us.
And we're the ones giving it to you.
So in the meantime and in between time.
Oh, I see. I thought it was just half the information of 411. Have you thought about 111?
We'll see you all next time right here on Diamond.
Have you thought about just 11? Just drop the first number.
And Silk, the podcast.
Bye-bye.
I need them to cut to them just like guzzling eggs.
Today's podcast is being sponsored by Footsteps in the Past,
an American-based business where everything is made in America.
Fantastic. Handmade quality wood signs. Huh? Huh? Boy, yo, yo, yo. Yep. Yeah. I got I got $15 and I ate my eggs. Where it's at? Okay. I'm already out of time today. You kidding me? Okay. This is a short one. Let's do a short one real quick. I don't want to leave yet. And we didn't get to hear from Denise D'Souza. I didn't call him that. That's Diamond and Silk. Denise, another backstabber. U.S. attorney appointed by Trump covers for the Bidens. Obviously, the biggest problem they have right now, with friends like these, right, Denise?
In the Hunter Biden story.
Hold on.
There's a new development in the Hunter Biden story.
Story. We hear that word a lot, don't we? Story. Not, there's a new development in the Hunter Biden, with the Hunter Biden laptop. There's a new development with the legal fight about the efficacy or the legitimacy of the Hunter Biden laptop. No, the story. There's a new development in the story.
Which is that it now comes out,
it now comes out that when you're filming your podcast at home on an obvious set, one of the things you can do is actually shoot landscape.
Now coming out that the prosecutor who is looking into whether or not Hunter Biden has tax violations, all that money that he got from foreign entities, did he pay taxes on it? And number two...
What's the development? Okay, that's a development. You're just bringing that up. That's not really a development. You're just asking the question. All he's doing is asking questions. Guys, this is not allegations. He's asking questions. Who doesn't have questions?
Did Hunter Biden violate any of our laws that deal with foreign entanglements?
Yeah, entanglements. Yeah. So by the way, an entanglement is it's a type of a bird. All right.
So all of this is under investigation.
Mm-hmm.
It's being investigated by
investigators?
A
investigator?
Delaware U.S. attorney named David Weiss.
Uh-oh. We're naming ew. Bad choice on frame freeze. Denise, I'm guessing you're saying his name because you don't like him.
And David Weiss was ready to issue not just subpoenas, but search warrants on Hunter Biden to get all the information pertinent to his inquiry. But then he realized that it was right before the 2020 election.
I see. All right. So he might have gone, maybe I'm being drug around by my nose with this fake laptop bullshit. And this kind of tax stuff is usually handled civilly, and therefore we can probably wait until after the election because it really doesn't have anything to do with his dad, and there's no allegations in this of any wrongdoing by his father. So let's put a pause.
So what did he do?
Mm-hmm.
He decided to be completely quiet about it.
To wait until it can be dealt in a way that doesn't affect the election because it had nothing to do with it?
Until the election had passed.
Mm-hmm. Damn it. Why couldn't he jump on the fake info that you guys were dropping everywhere and tie it to Biden and kind of give Trump another Comey moment, which was crucial to his win in 2016? I mean, is everything a reboot?
Now, right away,
I'm upset.
We see here how a top official, a deep state...
Giuliani does not have the laptop. There is no laptop. Giuliani has multiple hard drives. There is no laptop.
Guy who is charged with doing a job, which is pursuing the trail of investigation, is nevertheless calibrating this job to the political exigencies of the moment. In other words,
yeah,
he's trying to help Biden, and he's
trying not to interfere in the election just in case he's being baited with bullshit.
Trying to avoid helping Trump.
No, because he could have carried on the investigation, and indeed, in many ways, did. He just didn't announce it, which is what Trump was trying to get the president of Ukraine to do, for example. And they wouldn't do it, and then you guys tried it with this Delaware dude. And when I think it was Rudy dropped off a copy of the hard drive, remember when Rudy was printing child porn?
So you might think that this...
Thanks, 500 loops, and for being a sparkler. Yay!
This guy is a big left-winger in Delaware.
No, I would not think that. I would think he's probably... I'm going to go with, judging from the title, another backstabber, U.S. attorney appointed by Trump covers for the Bidens. I'm going to go with, in spite of what he wanted to do, he had to follow the law.
And it turns out that he's a Republican. He's...
Et tu Trumplicans.
A kind of moderate Republican, but he was appointed to his job by none other than Donald Trump. Wow.
Wow. Ouch. It's got hurt. I guess he doesn't hire the best people.
Now, he was appointed by Trump apparently on the recommendation of Delaware's 2 Democratic senators. Apparently, they understood better whose side David Weiss was on.
I see. So Trump was just an idiot and just signed anything you put in front of him? But I'm sorry, he's a super leader who knows everything. He knows the legal stuff more than anybody.
And you see here the way in which Trump, I think, was careless.
What? How dare you, Denise? Don't make me call Diamond and Silk on you.
In the kind of people that he appointed, people who subsequently turned out to do him no good.
Don't you put judges in positions of power just to save your ass and do you political favors? You don't do it so they follow the law.
No one is asking David Weiss to be a Trump man, Trump's wingman, in the way that, say, Eric Holder said that he was Obama's wingman. We're just asking David...
Well, this guy isn't the head of the DOJ.
David Weiss to do his job. And
his job is to not let minor tax investigations that are started for political reasons be carried out during an election cycle when they have nothing to do with the actual person running and just a family member.
And if it comes time to issue subpoenas, issue them.
Why don't you do them right before the election so we can make we could have a press conference, Four Seasons Total Landscaping still open.
Let the public make up its mind about...
Yeah, let them do that.
But what the significance of all...
No one cares.
This is, you just do...
Jesus Christ, he sounds like a Kids in the Hall character.
Your job, but no one asked you to manipulate the schedule in order to wait for the election to be over, and then, because that is a direct subsidy. That is a direct donation, you might say.
Yeah, sure. Or it's protecting Trump from making it look like he was doing political manipulation, having one of his appointees in Biden's home state go after him.
To the Biden camp, and that's really what David Weiss was doing.
Yeah, so probably, thanks, Denise. Make sure everybody, did you put in your newsletter that you send out that every one of your followers should give this guy death threats and and accuse him of being a deep state pedivore baby eater.
So the plot here really thickens because we are rightfully outraged at the media suppressing the Hunter Biden story.
Oh yeah, I'm outraged.
Rightfully.
Yeah, it was such a great story.
Outraged at the digital platforms for censoring the New York Post and others who tried to report on.
Well, they didn't censor the New York Post. To censor the New York Post, they would have had to have found a way to take the story out of the New York Post.
The Hunter Biden story, but it turns out that the prosecutors too.
Yeah, it's almost like everybody knew this was bullshit.
Are in a way protecting not just Hunter. Notice the protection here is to Joe Biden.
Well, it's to the political process. It has nothing to do with Joe Biden. So why would it matter? How does Hunter's tax issues have anything to do with Joe Biden as an individual, especially when his son's had drug problems and that kind of stuff, and he's been very open about it?
They're going to be doing the investigation.
They're going to be doing
of Hunter. They just don't want it to be to have any
politicized
negative impacts on Joe making his way across the finish line. And let's remember that this has always been a scandal. The Hunter Biden business dealings are not Hunter operating on his own. They're Hunter Biden, and the laptop confirms this in spades.
What laptop?
Hunter Biden is working in collaboration with his father.
Yeah, I'm still working on the whole, how does the bag man get mad?
Father is kind of the mafia don.
Yeah, who can't finish a sentence, right. He's got a spider's web of control over the entire world, runs it like Don Corleone, and yet somehow can't finish the sentence, right. Dementia, it's a form of dementia that makes you a criminal.
And Hunter Biden, the son, James Biden, and Frank Biden, the brothers, they're the bagmen
Shemp Biden.
Of the operation.
If they're the bagmen, how can they bitch about where money goes?
So you see the level of protection that Democrats get.
Yeah. That's true. I mean, there was a good period of time where I think a lot of people assumed, oddly enough, that Trump was a Democrat. Maybe that's why he got all the protection from all of his criminal activities in New York. You think, Denise?
Obama had it. The Clintons had it.
What was the Obama crime? He was so scandal-free.
There's almost a sense in which these guys can get away with anything, and this.
Yeah, it's almost like they're good at it.
This is why they do these shenanigans, because they.
Yeah, that's why you do shenanigans.
They know that. They know that somehow.
Excuse me, this is shenanigans?
How they will get out of the noose. They will stay one step ahead of the posse. The kind of rules that would floor.
There's a posse and a noose. Wait a minute, you can get hung for shenanigans? What kind of banana republic is this?
Or any republic.
Yeah, it was the tan suit Ford's there. Yeah, that's the big thing or whatever. They just let him get away with it. I don't know why he wasn't apparently chased by a posse and hung.
Republican are not applied when it comes to Democrats. And in this case, sadly, our side and Trump himself bears at least a little bit of the responsibility.
A little?
For allowing these atrocities to continue.
Atrocities? Excuse me, atrocities? The word is shenanigans. And by the way, that's the end of that piece. That was it. That was the tail end of this. This is
new development.
It started again. It's just 4 minutes, 42 seconds long. Pitiful. Oh, we never even got to... Let's do a minute of Glenn Beck. I'm not going to do a lot of this because I don't care. Oh, Ben Shapiro's on.
Welcome.
Editor Emeritus. Nerd alert.
How you doing?
Well, I found something out, and I don't think this...
By the way, he's given up on his folksy bullshit routine, and he's just back to moon-base asshole.
This is true. You would have said something about it, but I don't want to ambush you here, but I've heard...
I think this is going to... What do you think? He's going to be cute about something?
That you're Jewish.
Ew.
Is that true?
Well, I can't believe you can't believe everything you hear. What?
Look at how he's stumbling around this. I think he's Jewish. Holy cow, Ben! It's out now. I mean, you might as well live with it. I just thought you always wore.
Next, you'll be telling people. Next, you'll be telling people that I control a space laser and
Oh my gosh!
I don't know.
I heard
we don't talk about these things.
I swear to you, you told me that little hat you wore was just too small. It was a gap that you had as a kid.
Ouch! A small hat gag.
And it was too small, and I believed it. It's okay. Well, Ben,
that was great. A minute in, and we're all creeped out, and it was just a weird, like, soft-pedaled anti-Semitic bullshit. Like, we're buddies. I could shit on him for being a Jew. Come on.
I tried to keep it going as long as I could, Glenn. Right?
Gosh, you know what, Ben? It is what's going on now is as insane as what I just said to you.
That's not materially possible.
It's just insane what the mainstream media is now trying to portray. There was a great article. Congratulations on the article from NPR. A great article where they have deemed that you are a great danger now because of what you're building over at the Daily Wire. And they point to you and to us and to Breitbart.
Really? They included you with Breitbart and Daily Wire? Glenn? They just throw you in for good measure?
And they say
or bad measure?
That you are affecting millions of people and they don't know that you're a conservative. They have no idea that the Daily Wire is really a conservative outlet.
They're not.
How can they possibly say something like it's marked at the bottom of every single page of every article? How can they possibly say that? It's insane.
Well, because they're advocating for principal positions that are counter to genuine conservatism, and they're helping to they're living off the Trump cult like a tick, but pretending that they're not living off the blood of the dog.
Sanity.
I mean, it is crazy, but it's perfectly predictable because right now when you watch Joe Biden and the New York Times and
if you haven't seen their live show, it's amazing.
The entire media and democratic infrastructure combined to basically say that social media is the problem and needs to be reined in. Things that are wrong. They just mean
sorry.
It needs to, quote unquote, cut out misinformation. And by misinformation, they don't actually mean things that are wrong. They just mean stuff they don't like.
Yes.
Well, no. There's a distinction between misinformation and disinformation. When they talk about misinformation, they're talking about, like, Facebook lunatics. When they're talking about disinformation, they mean you and Glenn Beck.
It's not.
You're actively saying shit you don't believe.
Not anything of a surprise. They've been doing this since 2016. So before 2016, I know everybody has a short memory. Before 2016, everybody in the media loved Facebook, right? Because Facebook was the place where Barack Obama won the 2012 election. Mm-hmm. Facebook was he had figured out these brilliant strategies. Then Trump wins.
Then the Russians figured out you could buy political ads, and Facebook wouldn't stop them.
2016. And they've got to find some rationale for why Hillary Clinton, the worst candidate in American history, lost. And it can't be that she's the worst candidate, because that would mean she was the worst candidate. It's got to be something else. And so what they come up with is, it's Facebook. Facebook allowed Russian dissemination of disinformation.
Yeah, they did.
Facebook allowed dissemination.
They took payment for political ads in rubles, you garden gnome.
Of disinformation via the Trump campaign and all this. Now, there was a subtle shift that happened here where the critique went from Russian disinformation, which would be, that actually has a definition. That would be active foreign intervention in an American election via false propaganda, to...
Yeah, and they have receipts in payment in rubles.
Misinformation, right? They shifted from disinformation, which could be targeted, to misinformation, which now...
Right, because most of you guys are just dumbasses.
Includes anything they don't like.
Correct. Well, no. I mean, sure, they don't like a lot of things, but they're not calling it all misinformation.
So they will just scrub the Hunter Biden article because that is quote-unquote misinformation, even though it's true.
No, that was disinfo, for the record.
And in this NPR article, they ripped Daily Wire not because we report things that aren't true. They admit in the article that we don't report things that aren't true. They quote some sort of quote-unquote expert, professor at an Ivy League university, saying that...
Yeah, it can't be trusted. Those places are run by Jews.
Any true fact, quote-unquote, stripped of context, can become misinformation.
Yeah, just about. I would say any. I mean, obviously, you strip context from gravity, it's still true. But,
To say that if you're conservative and you give context for information in a way that leftists don't like, this
or none at all
now constitutes misinformation.
No, if you, like Greg Kelly or Sean Hannity does, where you use half a sentence and you cut it off, then it's disinfo. I wouldn't call it misinfo.
And that's what this entire campaign is about. There's this extraordinarily perverse thing that has happened with regard
Oh, God. I don't like it when Glenn Beck and Ben Shapiro talk about perverse things.
to how we consume information in the United States. It used to be that you would bookmark a place like Daily Wire or The Blaze and you go directly
No, you wouldn't.
there. And then, and because social media is so convenient, people get Daily Wire or The Blaze or Breitbart from their newsfeed on Facebook. And the left noticed that all of the dissemination of information was now centralized in one place. And then they said, okay, well, what if we just now bottleneck that? What if we just strangle in the crib all of these conservative organizations by telling the disseminator of information to just cut off the faucet? And that's what NPR is doing right now. They're trying to reestablish an establishment media monopoly with the help of the Democratic Party. And apparently your taxpayer dollars is NPR. They're trying to do all of that by basically pressuring Facebook into preventing anything they don't like from ever seeing the light of day.
They don't like, or stuff that is provably false, which would be misinfo or disinfo. That would be the problem, Ben. Now, I haven't read the NPR article, so I'm going to stop today because I went over time. If it was you and I'd started the show with this clip, we just go and find the article, and then I'd read through it as we did it and find out that Ben is talking out of his ass again with Glenn Beck, and that this is just more right-wing paranoia. But I'll look into it, and I will incorporate this in because it seems to be coming up at a couple of different clips I've seen. And so I want to address the whole thing and read it and see if indeed NPR is trying to destroy the Daily Wire because they can say misinfo is anything they don't like, and that they are trying to strangle the Daily Wire in the crib. Now, that analogy is grotesque and kind of weird, and I suppose plays on anti-choice activists' worst nightmares, but also makes sense if you listen to Ben Shapiro's voice. So I will let you guys go today. Thanks for sifting through Diamond and Silk with me today. What a strange experience. And I will see you guys tomorrow at a regular time. Also, tomorrow, I think we might be live streaming a Double Neck download as well. So I'll let you guys know in the morning about the timing of that, whether we're going to do it live here or not. But I will see you guys tomorrow, perhaps twice. Very exciting. Okay, bye.